Do you ever feel overwhelmed by negative thoughts or stuck in a cycle of self-doubt? What if you could break free from that mental trap and build a life filled with resilience and inner peace? In this video, we dive into powerful Stoic strategies that have been used for centuries to help people master their minds, overcome adversity, and transform their thinking. If you're ready to take control of your thoughts and create a powerful, enlightened life, keep watching, because the tools you'll learn here could change everything. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, or a hot cup of tea, or a smoothie, relax, and join me in exploring the valuable insights that Stoic philosophy has to offer. Sometimes, one of the hardest truths we must come to terms with is this: the only thing standing between where you are now and where you want to be is the decision to take the next step forward. Think about it for a moment. Success, fulfillment, and personal growth don't come from external factors like luck, perfect timing, or even extraordinary talent. They come from within, from you choosing to rise, to step into your potential, and to embrace the idea that you are capable and worthy of reaching for something greater. This is a truth that can feel both liberating and daunting. It strips away the excuses we often cling to and places the responsibility for our growth squarely in our hands. But therein lies the beauty. This means your growth is entirely within your control. This isn't about sitting back and waiting for the stars to align or for life to hand you the perfect opportunity on a silver platter. The wisdom of the Stoics teaches us a profound and timeless lesson. External circumstances will never be entirely within our control. Life is unpredictable, and no amount of planning or wishing can make it otherwise. What we can control, however, is our response to these circumstances. Epictetus, a philosopher born into slavery, rose above the limitations of his situation and left us with this enduring insight. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters. These words challenge us to stop looking outward for solutions and start turning inward for strength. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful ways to take control of your life, by deciding to act as if you are already the best version of yourself. Let's face it, doubt is a constant companion for most of us. Whether it's that nagging voice telling you you're not ready yet, or the insidious fear whispering, you're not good enough, we all grapple with the weight of insecurity at some point. But here's the truth most people overlook. You don't need to feel ready to begin. In fact, readiness is often a myth, an illusion that keeps us stuck in the realm of inaction. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that action, decisive, intentional action, is the birthplace of growth and transformation. You don't become great by waiting for ideal conditions or by being handed opportunities. You become great by showing up every single day as if you are already operating at your peak. Consider this. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Roman emperors and a towering figure in Stoic philosophy, lived his life grounded in this principle. Despite the immense pressures of ruling an empire and the countless challenges he faced, he approached each day with purpose, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to self-mastery. Marcus didn't wait for circumstances to align perfectly before taking action. He didn't allow setbacks or external chaos to dictate his character. Instead, he focused on what was within his control: his mindset, his decisions, and his actions. He reminded himself constantly that every day is an opportunity to strive for excellence, to live virtuously, and to embody the qualities of the person he aspired to be. The lesson here is clear. You don't need permission, perfect timing, or external validation to start becoming the best version of yourself. You simply need to choose, right here, right now, to begin. When you act as if you're already the best, you're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're stepping into the potential that already exists within you. You're aligning your actions with your aspirations, even when the path ahead is uncertain. And in doing so, you transform not only the way you see yourself, but also the trajectory of your life. So, as we explore this life-changing mindset, I want to remind you, this isn't about faking it or putting on a show for others. It's about reclaiming your power and stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Stay tuned, because what we're about to uncover could change the way you approach your goals, your challenges, and even your day-to-day life. And before we dive deeper, I have a small request. If you find value in the insights we're sharing, consider hitting the subscribe button. It's a small action, but it helps support this channel so we can continue bringing you the wisdom of Stoicism and actionable strategies for personal growth. Now, let's begin this journey together. Number 1. The power of deciding to be your best self. The moment you decide to step into your full potential is the moment your entire life begins to transform. It's a simple but profound truth. Change starts not with external circumstances, but with a shift in your mindset. Far too often, we fall into the trap of waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right level of experience or resources. But here's the hard truth. If you keep waiting, you might find yourself waiting forever. Life doesn't slow down, and perfect conditions rarely, if ever, present themselves. The real key to unlocking your potential lies in making an internal commitment, a deliberate, unshakable decision to show up each and every day as the best version of yourself, regardless of your doubts, your fears, or the obstacles in your path. This principle aligns seamlessly with the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, who understood that the power to change one's life lies not in controlling the uncontrollable, but in mastering our responses to the world around us. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a moment. External events are beyond your influence. The setbacks, the challenges, even the unfairness of life, they're all outside your sphere of control. What you can control, however, is your attitude, your choices, and the effort you put forth every single day. Deciding to be your best self isn't about waiting for the world to cooperate. It's about taking responsibility for how you show up in it. This commitment to being your best isn't about achieving perfection, nor is it about competing with others. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard, a standard of continuous growth, self-improvement, and virtue. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, exemplified this principle. Despite being one of the most powerful men in history, Marcus did not measure his worth by external accolades or comparisons with others. Instead, he measured it by his own progress, by how closely his actions aligned with his values and how diligently he worked to embody his ideals. For Marcus, every day was a new opportunity to strive for excellence, not by besting others, but by challenging his own potential and holding himself accountable. When you decide to be your best self, it doesn't mean you'll never stumble or face setbacks. Quite the opposite, the Stoics were profoundly aware of life's hardships. They embraced the reality that failure and adversity are inevitable, but they also believed that these challenges are essential tools for personal growth. To commit to being your best is to commit to facing obstacles head-on, to see them not as insurmountable roadblocks, but as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The path to self-mastery is paved with moments of struggle, but each challenge you overcome brings you closer to the person you were meant to be. This decision to strive for your best self is nothing short of transformative. It elevates your standards, aligns your actions with your goals, and sets you on a path of intentional living. Imagine waking up every morning with a clear purpose, knowing that every choice you make is bringing you closer to your highest potential. That's the power of this decision. It reshapes not only how you see yourself, but also the trajectory of your life. When you decide to take ownership of your growth, you stop being a passive participant in your own story. Instead, you become the author, actively shaping your journey with courage, discipline, and intention. The Stoics remind us that this transformation begins in the present moment. You don't need to wait for tomorrow, next week, or next year to start. You can make the choice right now, in this very moment, to live with purpose and integrity. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about showing up consistently with the intention to grow and the willingness to face whatever comes your way. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you made the decision to step into your full potential today? What could you accomplish if you stopped waiting for ideal conditions and started taking action now? The power to change is already within you. All it takes is the courage to make that first step. Number 2. Why acting like the best matters. When I say, act as if you're the best, I'm not referring to arrogance or self-importance. This is not about putting on a facade of superiority or looking down on others in an attempt to inflate your own self-worth. No, acting as if you're the best is about adopting a mindset of personal excellence that drives you to continually improve, no matter where you currently stand. It's about holding yourself accountable to the highest standards of character, effort, and discipline. Not for external validation or applause, but because that is what leads to true, sustainable growth. It's a mindset rooted in humility, not arrogance. It's about striving for excellence in everything you do, from the smallest decisions to the most significant actions. To clarify, when you act as if you're the best, you embody the mindset of someone who is already operating at their peak. Picture, for a moment, the world-class athlete who practices day in and day out, perfecting their technique, pushing the boundaries of their endurance. Or consider the master craftsman who dedicates countless hours to honing their skill, ensuring that each piece they create is nothing short of extraordinary. Neither of these individuals believes they are perfect. Yet their belief in their capacity for excellence allows them to show up every day with confidence, determination, and a deep-seated commitment to continual improvement. That is the essence of acting as if you're the best. It's about showing up consistently as your best self, regardless of your imperfections. Think of how Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, approached his leadership. Despite wielding immense power and influence, Marcus never viewed himself as flawless or above others. He remained steadfast in his pursuit of virtue, constantly reminding himself that leadership was not about dominance or superiority, but about responsibility and self-discipline. For him, the pursuit of excellence was a lifelong journey, one that required continual self-reflection and a commitment to personal growth. He was not driven by the need for recognition or validation from others. Instead, he measured his success by how closely his actions aligned with his values. Even with his vast accomplishments and worldly power, Marcus Aurelius humbly acknowledged that he was always a student of life, never perfect, but always striving to improve. When you adopt this mindset of acting as if you're the best, it's important to understand that it doesn't mean pretending to be flawless or avoiding mistakes. It's not about hiding your flaws, pretending you have all the answers, or convincing others you're infallible. Quite the opposite. Acting like the best means showing up with the belief that you're capable of handling whatever life throws at you, even when you don't have all the answers. This inner confidence doesn't come from boasting about your achievements or putting on a show for others. It comes from a deep-rooted knowledge that you are constantly working toward your own improvement. You're not perfect, but you're always learning, growing, and striving to be better. That belief is what drives you forward, even in the face of doubt or uncertainty. Arrogance is the opposite of this mindset. Arrogance seeks to elevate you above others to make you appear superior. Acting like the best, on the other hand, elevates you to your highest potential, pushing you to strive for excellence while remaining grounded in humility. The Stoics, particularly individuals like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, taught that the true mark of greatness lies not in how you compare to others, but in how you measure up to your own potential. It's about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're living in alignment with your values and pushing yourself to do better each day. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every small step forward, every challenge faced, and every mistake learned from is part of the journey. By acting as if you're the best, you are setting an example for those around you. You're not only improving yourself, but you're inspiring others to reach higher and push further. There is power in the way you carry yourself. People notice the way you approach challenges, the way you handle setbacks, and the way you hold yourself to high standards. Your actions speak louder than words. By living with integrity, discipline, and self-respect, you naturally inspire others to do the same. In that way, acting as if you're the best doesn't just benefit you. It has a ripple effect, motivating and encouraging those around you to pursue excellence in their own lives. Remember, acting as if you're the best doesn't mean you'll never stumble. It doesn't mean you won't experience failure, disappointment, or moments of doubt. On the contrary, it's a mindset that prepares you to face these challenges with grace and resilience. You may not always get it right, but the difference is, is that you're showing up. You're showing up as someone who is committed to doing their best, regardless of the outcome. That mindset, the mindset of striving to be the best you can be every single day, is what will lead you to true greatness. Ultimately, acting like the best is not about achieving some external measure of success or recognition. It's about living a life that reflects your highest values and your deepest potential. It's about showing up, day in and day out, with the intention to improve, to grow, and to be the best version of yourself. When you adopt this mindset, you stop waiting for external validation. You stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, you embrace the journey of continuous self-improvement, knowing that, over time, you will become the best version of yourself, not by competing with others, but by striving to become who you were always meant to be. Number 3. What you practice becomes who you are. The Stoics understood a profound truth about human nature. What you consistently practice shapes your identity. Our daily actions, decisions, and habits are not just fleeting moments, they're the building blocks of who we become. As Seneca famously said, we become what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This powerful insight reveals that our character is forged through repeated actions. Every small choice you make, every action you take, and every thought you entertain shapes the person you are becoming. At first, the idea of embodying qualities like confidence, discipline, and resilience might feel unnatural. You may find yourself doubting whether you're truly capable of changing your habits or whether you deserve to act with the same confidence as someone who has already mastered those traits. But here's the beauty of it. Humans are incredibly adaptable. We have the ability to reshape our identities over time by practicing the behaviors and mindsets we wish to embody. The Stoics knew this, and they leveraged the power of consistent action to mold their characters. They weren't born virtuous. They became virtuous through continuous effort. The principle is simple. If you want to become a more confident person, you must practice confidence. If you want to be more disciplined, you must act with discipline. If you want to cultivate resilience, you must practice resilience. It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about adopting the habits and behaviors of the person you want to become. Through repetition, what once felt forced or inauthentic begins to feel natural. The more you practice a particular quality, the more it becomes part of you. You start to embody the traits you're striving for, and they no longer feel like something you're faking. Instead, they become an inseparable part of your character. Let's take social confidence as an example. At first, making eye contact, standing tall, or engaging in conversations with strangers might feel intimidating or uncomfortable. You might find yourself second-guessing every word or worrying about how others perceive you. But through consistent practice, you begin to see subtle shifts. The more you engage with others, the more confident you become. Initially, it might take effort to remind yourself to maintain good posture or to speak clearly. But over time, these actions become second nature. Eventually, you'll realize that confidence is no longer something you're trying to project. It's simply who you are. The same principle applies to all areas of life. Whether you want to improve your health, enhance your career, or strengthen your relationships, the Stoics remind us that change doesn't come from wishing or hoping. It comes from intentional, consistent action. If you want to become healthier, you don't wait for motivation to strike. You practice healthy habits every day. If you want to advance in your career, you don't sit back and hope for opportunities to come to you. You put in the work, show up with determination, and seek out growth. If you want stronger relationships, you don't wait for others to change. You practice empathy, kindness, and communication. In all cases, what you practice becomes who you are. The key is consistency. It's not about being perfect or having everything figured out from the start. The Stoics were clear-eyed about the reality of personal growth. They understood that we would inevitably face setbacks, make mistakes, and experience failures along the way. However, they also believed that the process of growth itself was valuable. Every time we practice a positive behavior, even if it doesn't immediately yield results, we are strengthening our character. Even in failure, the Stoics taught us there is an opportunity for growth. By embracing our shortcomings and using them as learning experiences, we continue to build the person we want to be. Think of it like building a muscle. When you first start lifting weights, it can feel awkward and challenging. You might not see immediate results, and the process can sometimes feel frustrating. But with time and repetition, your body adapts. Your muscles grow stronger, and the effort that once felt uncomfortable becomes easier. Eventually, what was once a strain becomes effortless. The same goes for your mindset and behaviors. Initially, acting with confidence, discipline, or resilience may feel forced or unfamiliar. But the more you practice, the more you internalize these qualities. They become part of your identity, just as physical strength becomes part of a well-trained body. The Stoics also understood that our thoughts are just as important as our actions. We don't just become who we are through external behaviors, we also shape our identity through the thoughts we allow to dominate our minds. If you constantly think thoughts of self-doubt or fear, you will begin to believe that you are incapable of achieving your goals. But if you practice positive, empowering thoughts of strength, resilience, and self-belief, these will begin to shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. The Stoics advocated for controlling our thoughts, not allowing them to control us. Through mindfulness and intentional focus, we can train our minds to adopt the mindset of the person we want to become. It's important to note that the process of becoming who you want to be doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and patience. The Stoics were committed to lifelong improvement. They didn't expect to master virtue in a short period of time. Instead, they embraced the idea that self-improvement is an ongoing journey. This is why consistency is so important. Even when it feels like your efforts are going unnoticed or that progress is slow, keep going. Every time you act with discipline, resilience, or confidence, you are laying the foundation for a stronger, more empowered version of yourself. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-reflection. While practicing the qualities you want to develop is key, it's also crucial to regularly reflect on your actions, thoughts, and progress. Self-reflection helps you identify areas for improvement and recognize where you've made strides. By being mindful of your growth, you stay connected to your purpose and continue to refine your character. Ultimately, what you practice shapes who you are. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to start practicing today. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Each day is an opportunity to practice the qualities you wish to embody. Through consistent effort, self-reflection, and a commitment to improvement, you'll find that the person you aspire to become is already within you, waiting to be realized. No.4 Confronting weakness head-on. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or pretending they don't exist. In fact, it means the complete opposite. To act as if you're the best, you must first have the courage to face your weaknesses directly, not with avoidance or denial, but with open acknowledgement and the willingness to confront them. The Stoics were masters of self-awareness, and their teachings offer profound insight into how we can transform our limitations into stepping stones for growth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth highlights the Stoic approach to weakness. It's not about denying our flaws, but about taking full responsibility for how we respond to them. We all have weaknesses, parts of ourselves that we wish we could change or improve. These flaws, whether they be emotional triggers, bad habits, or limiting beliefs, often define the way we live our lives. But the key to personal growth isn't to pretend they don't exist or hope they magically disappear. Rather, it's about embracing them, understanding them, and using them as opportunities for self-improvement. The Stoics understood that obstacles and weaknesses are not something to be feared or avoided, but instead something to be confronted with courage and determination. They believed that life's greatest challenges, the ones that push us to the brink, are often the very ones that reveal our deepest strengths. When you confront your weaknesses head-on, you're choosing to face the discomfort and uncertainty that often comes with self-improvement. The fear of failure or judgment can be paralyzing, and it may feel easier to ignore or dismiss the parts of ourselves that need growth. But the Stoics taught us that by avoiding these weaknesses, we only allow them to grow unchecked, sabotaging our potential. Facing our weaknesses head-on requires us to step into vulnerability, to admit that we are not perfect, and to recognize that growth is a journey, one that requires us to look at ourselves honestly and take deliberate action toward becoming better. The most successful people in any field aren't those who believe they are flawless, but rather those who are keenly aware of their shortcomings and actively work to improve them. This attitude is exactly what the Stoics exemplified. They didn't pretend to be perfect. They recognized their imperfections and used them as motivation to become better. Epictetus, for example, taught that obstacles are opportunities in disguise. The challenges we face, he said, should be seen not as impediments, but as valuable feedback about where we need to improve. Through this lens, every difficulty, every failure, and every weakness is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. When you embrace your weaknesses, you also free yourself from the tyranny of perfectionism. Too often, we fear that acknowledging our flaws makes us appear weak or incapable, but the Stoics knew that the true weakness lies in ignoring them. By avoiding your weaknesses, you allow them to control you. When you face them head-on, you take back the control. This process isn't about beating yourself up or wallowing in self-doubt. It's about having the humility and courage to look at yourself with honest eyes and see where you need to improve. It's about choosing to confront your weaknesses with the intention of turning them into strengths. Consider the Stoic practice of journaling, something Marcus Aurelius did regularly. He used it as a tool for self-reflection, examining his actions and thoughts with brutal honesty. In his personal writings, he didn't shy away from acknowledging his flaws. Instead, he used them as a guide to becoming a better person. He didn't see weaknesses as permanent limitations, but as areas for growth. Journaling helped him take stock of where he was failing and what he needed to work on in order to move forward. This process of reflection, paired with deliberate action, was essential to his success in both his personal life and his leadership as a Roman emperor. The Stoics also understood that weakness doesn't define us. It's how we respond to it that matters. Everyone has flaws. That's part of the human experience. But what separates those who grow from those who stay stagnant is their willingness to address their weaknesses directly. When we face our flaws, we learn more about ourselves than we would if we simply ignored them. By confronting our weaknesses, we unlock the potential for greater self-awareness, greater strength, and greater resilience. And this transformation isn't something that happens overnight. It's a gradual, ongoing process. Another key aspect of the Stoic mindset is that they saw failure not as something to be ashamed of, but as a necessary part of the journey toward improvement. Failure for the Stoics was not a sign of inadequacy. It was simply feedback that showed where they needed to make adjustments. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The good is in what you do, not what you fail to do." This quote perfectly encapsulates the Stoic approach to failure. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how you rise each time. When you face your weaknesses and failures with this perspective, you realize that setbacks are not only unavoidable but essential for growth. True strength lies not in avoiding failure, but in learning how to navigate it. The Stoics encouraged us to welcome challenges, knowing that each one gives us the chance to become better. Instead of running from difficulty, they advocated embracing it, because it's through adversity that we truly test and strengthen our character. In every weakness, there's a lesson, and in every failure, there's a chance to get closer to the best version of yourself. For example, if you struggle with procrastination, confronting this weakness means looking at the underlying reasons why you avoid taking action. Do you fear failure? Are you overwhelmed by the tasks at hand? By honestly confronting these fears, you can begin to break the cycle of procrastination. You can address the root causes, change your behavior, and slowly turn this weakness into a strength. Over time, you'll find that taking consistent action becomes easier, and the feelings of fear or overwhelm start to dissipate. This is the power of confronting weakness head-on. It's not about instantly overcoming everything that holds you back. It's about developing the strength to address your shortcomings and grow from them. It's about choosing to face the uncomfortable aspects of yourself, not with self-criticism, but with self-compassion and a commitment to progress. When you make this a regular practice, you begin to see how your weaknesses no longer control you. Instead, you're in control, and each challenge you face becomes an opportunity to step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. In summary, the Stoics teach us that weakness isn't something to hide from or be ashamed of. It's something to acknowledge, confront, and learn from. By facing your flaws with honesty and determination, you turn them into catalysts for growth. Through deliberate effort, self-awareness, and the courage to confront your imperfections, you unlock your potential and take control of your path to greatness. Number 5. Elevating those around you. The Stoic principle of sympathia, which refers to the interconnectedness of all people, emphasizes a powerful truth. When you strive for excellence and elevate yourself, you also elevate those around you. It's not just about improving your own life, it's about lifting others up as well. The Stoics believe that we don't exist in isolation, but as part of a greater community. And when we pursue our own growth, we naturally create a positive ripple effect in the lives of those around us. The Stoic mindset, centered on virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, is contagious. And when we embody these values, they inspire others to do the same. Think about the impact of a person who lives with purpose, integrity, and resilience. Their energy, their attitude, their commitment to personal growth all serve as an example to those around them. You've likely encountered someone in your life whose presence is uplifting, whose actions motivate you to be better, even if they don't say a word. That person doesn't need to boast or flaunt their achievements. They simply live in a way that inspires others to reach higher. This is what the Stoics meant by sympathia. It's the natural, invisible connection between individuals when we act in alignment with our highest values. We create a sense of shared purpose and encourage each other's growth, even without trying. When you hold yourself to high standards, you're not only improving your own life, you're setting an example. You show others that striving for excellence is not just an option, but a way of living. You don't need to be a teacher, mentor, or coach to influence those around you. Sometimes, just the way you approach life can inspire people to reflect on their own choices and actions. By living with intention and embodying the virtues that the Stoics espoused, you encourage those who look to you, consciously or unconsciously, to raise their own standards. The Stoics understood the value of leading by example. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, frequently reminded himself that his actions were not just for his benefit, but for the good of others. He believed that his role as a leader wasn't merely to rule, but to serve as a model of virtue and wisdom. His character was a beacon to others, showing them how to live virtuously even in the face of immense challenges. He didn't seek external validation or approval. He acted with integrity because it was the right thing to do. By doing so, he inspired countless individuals around him, both in his time and throughout history, to live up to their own highest potential. This idea of leading by example is a core principle of Stoicism. It's not about forcing your values onto others or expecting them to conform to your standards. Instead, it's about living authentically and letting your actions speak for themselves. The Stoics understood that the best way to influence others is through personal integrity and the example of a virtuous life. When you elevate yourself by living with purpose, discipline, and resilience, you create an environment where others can't help but be inspired to do the same. One of the most profound aspects of this principle is the understanding that true leadership isn't about power or authority. It's about inspiring others to become the best versions of themselves. When you focus on your own growth, you can't help but inspire those around you to focus on theirs. Your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself encourages others to reflect on their own values and actions. Just as a flame can light many candles, your pursuit of excellence can ignite the same desire in others. And this impact often extends beyond just those you are directly in contact with. It creates a ripple effect, influencing communities, workplaces, families, and even future generations. The Stoic mindset also emphasizes that this isn't about competition. It's about collaboration and mutual growth. The Stoics weren't concerned with outshining others or seeking superiority. They were concerned with elevating themselves to the highest standards of virtue. When we hold ourselves to these high standards, we foster an environment of cooperation and mutual respect, where everyone can grow together. The pursuit of personal excellence becomes a collective effort, as each person's growth supports the growth of others. This creates a culture of continuous improvement, where individuals push each other to be their best, not through competition, but through encouragement and shared purpose. Think about how this works in practice. When you hold yourself accountable, take responsibility for your actions, and strive to embody virtues like courage, wisdom, and humility, others take notice. Whether it's in your family, at work, or among your friends, people are watching. And by living with integrity, you show them that it's possible to overcome challenges, to push through adversity, and to grow, no matter where you are on your journey. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. When you show others that you're committed to continuous improvement, they start to believe they can do the same. In the Stoic worldview, growth isn't just about personal achievement. It's about contributing to the greater good. The Stoics believed that each individual's growth benefits society as a whole. When you elevate yourself, you elevate the collective. The pursuit of virtue, wisdom, and excellence isn't just for your own well-being, it's for the well-being of all. By raising your own standards and living with integrity, you contribute to the improvement of the world around you. In this way, the Stoic path is not a solitary one, but a shared journey, where each person's growth benefits the collective good. This principle also applies to your influence on others during times of adversity. The Stoics believed that in times of hardship, it's even more important to remain true to your values and to set an example for others. When you face challenges with resilience, grace, and wisdom, you not only strengthen yourself, but you also provide a model for others to follow. The way you handle adversity can inspire those around you to do the same, teaching them that hardship is not something to fear or avoid, but an opportunity for growth. This is one of the most powerful ways to elevate others, to show them that no matter what happens, they have the power to choose how they respond, and they have the potential to rise above any challenge. Ultimately, the Stoics teach us that leadership is about inspiring others through the example of our lives. When you elevate yourself, by living with purpose, discipline, and integrity, you create a ripple effect that uplifts everyone around you. The impact of your actions, whether large or small, can inspire those around you to reflect on their own lives and take action toward their own growth. This is the true power of the Stoic principle of sympathia. When we elevate ourselves, we elevate the world. Number 6, the power of deciding to be your best self. The moment you make the conscious decision to step into your full potential is the moment your life begins to transform. It's not about waiting for the world to change or hoping that the perfect opportunity will fall into your lap. It's about making an internal commitment, an unwavering decision to show up every single day as the best version of yourself. This is a choice you have the power to make at any moment. The Stoics believed that our most powerful asset lies not in the external circumstances we face, but in how we choose to approach those circumstances. It's all about our response to life, and when you make the decision to be your best self, you set the stage for remarkable transformation in every aspect of your life. This concept resonates deeply with the Stoic worldview. The Stoics taught us that we cannot control the external events that happen to us, but we have absolute authority over how we choose to respond to those events. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, put it plainly, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This fundamental insight underscores the Stoic idea that we possess the power to choose our mindset and our actions, no matter what life throws our way. The decision to be your best self is not about waiting for circumstances to improve. It's about acting in the face of uncertainty and challenge, and choosing to elevate yourself through your actions, your mindset, and your attitude. Being your best self isn't about achieving some form of perfection. It's about striving for progress. The Stoics recognize that the pursuit of excellence is a continuous journey, not a destination. It's about showing up every day and doing the best you can in any given moment, no matter how big or small. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers and an emperor who epitomized Stoic virtues, consistently reminded himself to act in accordance with his highest principles. For Marcus, living virtuously wasn't about seeking external rewards, recognition, or fame. It was about the intrinsic satisfaction of living with integrity and striving for excellence in every single action. Each day was an opportunity to challenge himself, to refine his character, and to grow as a person, not in comparison to others, but in comparison to the person he had been yesterday. This commitment to personal excellence is a decision that ripples through every area of your life. When you choose to be your best, you naturally start to raise your own standards. You begin to show up with purpose, to act with intention, and to hold yourself accountable to the highest ideals. You start taking ownership of your life, your choices, and your actions. This mindset transforms the way you approach challenges, goals, and obstacles. Rather than seeing setbacks as failures, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth, chances to learn, adapt, and emerge even stronger. The Stoics viewed adversity not as something to avoid, but as a vital tool for personal development. Challenges are the forge in which resilience, wisdom, and inner strength are tested and refined. By committing to this mindset of constant self-improvement, you also begin to cultivate a deep sense of confidence. This confidence is not rooted in ego, arrogance, or comparison to others. Instead, it's grounded in the belief that you are capable of handling whatever life presents, no matter how difficult. It's the kind of confidence that comes from knowing that you've done your best, that you've shown up with integrity, and that you've acted in accordance with your values. This inner confidence is incredibly empowering. It gives you the courage to face life's challenges head-on, without hesitation or fear of failure. And when you consistently act in alignment with your highest ideals, you begin to develop an unshakable belief in your own abilities. But here's the key. This decision to be your best self isn't something that happens overnight. It's a daily commitment, a continuous process of showing up and choosing to do the right thing, even when it's hard. It's about building the habit of excellence, day by day, through consistent effort and discipline. The Stoics understood that growth doesn't come from one grand gesture, but from the small, incremental actions that we take every day. Each moment is an opportunity to act in accordance with your highest principles, to make choices that align with the person you want to become, and to cultivate the virtues that lead to personal fulfillment. This commitment to being your best self also means setting high standards for yourself. The Stoics didn't believe in settling for mediocrity. They believed in constantly striving for improvement. They understood that true growth comes from pushing beyond your comfort zone, from challenging yourself to be better, even when it feels difficult. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, repeatedly urged himself to rise above the distractions and temptations of life, to stay focused on what truly mattered, and to act in ways that were consistent with his highest values. He wasn't concerned with the opinions of others or with outward success. He was concerned with the inner work of becoming the best version of himself. And this is where the transformative power of Stoicism comes into play. When you make the decision to show up as your best self, you're not just improving your own life, you're also setting the stage for greater success, deeper fulfillment, and a more meaningful existence. The choice to commit to excellence in every area of your life transforms your mindset, your actions, and the way you perceive the world around you. You become a magnet for opportunities, success, and growth, because you're no longer waiting for circumstances to change. You're taking responsibility for your own development and creating the conditions for your own success. Moreover, this decision doesn't just affect your own life. It has a ripple effect on everyone you encounter. When you choose to be your best, you inspire others to do the same. Your commitment to excellence becomes a model for those around you, encouraging them to raise their own standards, to pursue their own growth, and to act with integrity. In this way, your personal decision to be your best self not only benefits you, but also contributes to the growth and success of others. It creates a culture of excellence that extends far beyond yourself, positively impacting the people in your life and the world around you. This decision is a powerful catalyst for change, It doesn't just reshape your mindset, it reshapes the trajectory of your entire life. When you commit to being your best self, you open the door to limitless possibilities. You begin to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as stepping stones, and growth as a natural part of the journey. You realize that your potential is not limited by your circumstances, but by your willingness to take action, to show up, and to commit to your own excellence. That's the true power of deciding to be your best self. It transforms your mindset, your actions, and your future, creating a life of purpose, fulfillment, and continuous growth. Number 7. Why acting like the best matters. When I say, act as if you're the best, I'm not suggesting that you adopt an air of arrogance or a sense of superiority over others. On the contrary, acting like the best is not about putting yourself above anyone else, nor is it about looking down on others or expecting the world to cater to you. It's about holding yourself accountable to the highest standard, pushing yourself to reach your fullest potential, and striving for personal excellence, not for external recognition or validation, but for your own growth, self-respect, and fulfillment. This mindset is not one of entitlement or ego. It's the mindset of someone who understands that greatness is earned through consistent effort, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to self-improvement. Acting as if you're the best means setting the bar high for yourself, showing up with purpose, and dedicating yourself to excellence in everything you do. To clarify, acting as if you're the best means adopting the mindset and behaviors of someone who's already operating at their peak, regardless of whether you've reached that level yet. It's about embodying the discipline, focus, and inner strength of someone who has already achieved greatness in their field, even if you're still on your journey. Think of the world-class athletes who practice for hours on end, the master artisans who refine their craft daily, or the entrepreneurs who relentlessly pursue their vision despite setbacks and challenges. Their confidence doesn't come from arrogance, but from years of dedication, perseverance, and self-discipline. Their self-assurance isn't based on comparing themselves to others. Rather, it's the result of their commitment to continuous growth and improvement. It's the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you're giving your best in every situation, and that your efforts, no matter how small they seem, are building towards something greater. Consider how Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor, approached leadership. Despite his immense power and authority, Marcus never viewed himself as flawless or beyond improvement. He didn't see himself as above others, but rather as a fellow traveler on the path to wisdom and virtue. Marcus consistently reminded himself to act in accordance with the highest Stoic principles, focusing not on external rewards or recognition, but on the internal process of becoming the best version of himself. He approached life with humility and self-awareness, acknowledging that he, too, had room to grow. In this way, Marcus Aurelius embodied the core of Stoic thought, the belief that greatness isn't about elevating yourself above others, but about striving to live virtuously and act in accordance with your highest values, regardless of external circumstances. When you act as if you're the best, it's not about pretending that you have all the answers or that you're immune to making mistakes. Instead, it's about showing up with the belief that you are capable of handling whatever life throws your way. It's the inner confidence that comes from knowing that you can meet challenges head-on, that you can handle failure with grace, and that you're willing to put in the hard work necessary to keep improving. This type of confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from the deep, unwavering belief that you are doing your best, that you are committed to your personal growth, and that your actions are aligned with your values. It's the kind of confidence that comes from within, not from a desire to impress others or seek approval. When you embody this mindset, you create a solid foundation of self-assurance that can weather any storm. Arrogance, on the other hand, seeks to elevate you above others. It is the belief that you are inherently superior or entitled to special treatment. But acting like the best is not about putting yourself on a pedestal. It's about elevating yourself to your fullest potential. It's about doing the hard work, making the sacrifices, and putting in the hours of effort required to truly be your best. and doing so without needing validation from others. It's about striving for excellence, not for the praise or recognition it might bring, but for the intrinsic satisfaction of knowing that you gave your all, and that you lived in alignment with your values. This Stoic principle is about progress, not perfection. It's about becoming better today than you were yesterday, and about consistently striving to be better tomorrow. This mindset is rooted in humility, not pride. It's the humility of acknowledging that there is always room for growth and improvement. The best individuals in any field, whether they're athletes, artists, or business leaders, understand that there is no finish line in the pursuit of greatness. They are always learning, always refining their skills, and always seeking new ways to improve. The Stoics themselves were masters of this humble mindset. They recognize that greatness is not something that can be attained overnight. It is the product of years of consistent effort, discipline, and self-reflection. And it is a mindset that can be adopted by anyone, regardless of where they currently stand in their journey. Acting like the best is not about being perfect, but about having the courage to strive for perfection, even knowing that it will always be just out of reach. This mindset also has a transformative effect on the way you approach setbacks and failures. Arrogance is often fragile. It cannot withstand failure or criticism because it is built on a foundation of fragile ego. But when you act like the best, you approach failure not as something to fear, but as an opportunity to grow. You know that setbacks are part of the process, and that every failure is a stepping stone on the path to success. This mindset of resilience and perseverance is one of the core tenets of Stoicism. The Stoics believed that the obstacles we face are not there to stop us. They are there to challenge us, to help us grow stronger, and to refine our character. When you adopt the mindset of someone who acts as if they're the best, you're embracing the idea that setbacks are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth and learning. Ultimately, acting like the best means making a commitment to excellence in everything you do. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, holding yourself accountable to your highest standards, and constantly pushing yourself to improve. It's about living a life that is purposeful, intentional, and in alignment with your values. This mindset doesn't just impact your own life, it has a ripple effect on the people around you. When you strive for excellence, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions speak louder than your words, and by embodying the mindset of someone who acts like the best, you set an example for those around you. You show them what is possible when we commit to growth, to resilience, and to living in alignment with our highest ideals. You inspire those around you to rise to their own potential, and together, you create a culture of excellence, mutual support, and continual growth. In the end, acting like the best is not about ego or pride. It's about striving for greatness in everything you do and committing to continuous improvement no matter where you currently stand. It's about raising the bar for yourself and holding yourself to a standard of excellence that will propel you toward your full potential. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, not for external validation, but for the deep, intrinsic satisfaction that comes from knowing that you've given your best and that you are always striving to be better. Thank you for being part of this journey. Remember, every challenge is not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. If you found value in this video, like, share, and subscribe for more insights into Stoicism and personal growth. Let's turn every setback into a comeback and build lives of resilience, purpose, and fulfillment.